Do you think it is just money driven though?
No, it's not just money driven. He knows that if he comes lacking, Crawford gonna beat him. Crawford knows if he comes lacking, Canelo gonna beat him. No, it's not money driven at all. Money just was a good reason to make the fight happen.
Terence is a tremendously skilled fighter. So is Canelo a very skilled fighter. But he doesn't have the same skill set as Terence does.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate you, man. Back together. What is it in your mind?
I think he's just used to the stage. You know what I'm saying? It's a different stage, man. But I don't know, man. It's like
the long-anticipated showdown between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez lived up to its billing. In its aftermath, boxing experts hailed both the electric atmosphere and Crawford's remarkable composure in front of a fervent Mexican crowd. The stakes were historic: Canelo defending his super middleweight legacy, while Crawford sought the unprecedented honor of becoming a three-division undisputed champion. Though many saw the task as nearly insurmountable, Crawford's precision and unshakable focus proved he rightfully stands among the sport's all-time elite.
Took the boos from the Mexican fans really well, and then towards the end of the press conference, he's so succinct and pithy in everything he says, Bud, that his supporters eventually came to the fore in the arena. He's incredibly popular. Canelo's he's not arrogant, but he's got so much self-belief. And then it's like a game of ping pong, back and forth all the time. Great atmosphere. We've had a brilliant day interviewing so many people about it. Today makes me feel really stoked about this fight now.
Stoked? It's a great word.
Stoked.
There's a lot of respect between both guys. I think they both know what they've got themselves into. Obviously, Terence is on the precipice of history. 3-weight undisputed champion. Not been done in the modern era. And obviously Canelo Alvarez, he's taking a big risk here. He's fighting what everybody's saying is the smaller guy. But when he was up on that stage, both guys paying an awful amount of respect to each other, both admitting that this is a 50-50 and could go either way.
Yeah, no nostalgia. They were asked about nostalgia and the biggest fight of their lives. Neither man wants to think about those things. They know they've got an elitist fighter in front of them. Canelo, like you say, has his legacy to lose in many ways that he's created in recent times at super middleweight, being undefeated in that division for 6.5 years against a guy that's come up from lightweight. Let's not forget that he beat Ricky Burns to win the world title at the beginning. It's a massive ask for Terence Crawford still, but there's that feeling in all of us that he is capable of doing it, and he presents that the whole time. He's got this poker face, he's got this ability to respond in the right way to everything.
At the higher weight, Crawford showed he could command Canelo's respect by holding his ground in exchanges rather than retreating. Analysts noted that he didn't adopt a purely defensive, Mayweather-like approach. Instead, he stayed true to his own style, mixing crisp counters with purposeful movement. Canelo's relentless pressure and trademark power reminded everyone why he reigns at super middleweight. Yet Crawford's calm adaptability highlighted his own greatness. The bout echoed past challenges Canelo had weathered, but its intensity and equilibrium made it a truly one-of-a-kind showdown.
Rumors of a shoulder injury, I'm not putting any stock into that because I don't think we can unless there's anything official really out there. Point being, there's got a lot of question marks around Terence Crawford. This video, we are going to suppose that those question marks are answered in full force by Terence Crawford being an absolute monster at this weight class. It's a lot of assuming, but it's kind of what we have to do to see the best version of Terence Crawford in this fight. So let's assume the weight doesn't bother him. Let's assume he is fully healthy, not injured. Let's assume that Canelo's power is not too much from him coming up from 147, 154 to 168. Let's assume all that's true. How does Terence Crawford win this fight? Number one, he has to get Canelo's respect early. Terence Crawford is not going to fight this fight on his back foot, circling around the...
When the dust settled on this monumental clash, voices like Carl Froch and Hamza Shiraz echoed a common theme: Crawford's timing, skill, and composure on boxing's grandest stage left an indelible mark. Yet Canelo's legacy loomed just as powerfully. Having tested himself against legends like Gennady Golovkin and Floyd Mayweather, he carried that hard-earned experience into the ring, his power still commanding respect from fans and analysts alike. The fight revealed a compelling balance: Crawford's razor-sharp precision against Canelo's proven strength at the sport's pinnacle. In the end, it wasn't simply about who was better, but about honoring two greats, one solidifying his place in history, the other extending an already enduring legacy.
Ring like William Skull or Edgar Berlanga, any of these guys that got hit by Canelo and went, ooh, no, I don't want any part of that. That can't happen. And do not forget, by the way, that Charlo was 154 undisputed champion.
The fight highlighted the clear contrast between a natural super middleweight and a challenger daring to rise in weight. One carried the advantage of experience at 168 pounds, with the resilience to withstand shots that would trouble most, while the other relied on sharpness, adaptability, and tireless activity to dictate the tempo. Their exchanges delivered bursts of power, perfectly timed counters, and high-level adjustments from both men, keeping the outcome uncertain as the battle wore on. By the later rounds, fatigue and sustained pressure began to take hold, setting up a dramatic finish in...
Talk about Crawford, Canelo, before we move on to you and Canelo.
Yeah.
Who you got for this? I mean, this is an exciting fight. What's your pick for this one?
I think Canelo's going to win rounds 8 to 10 knockout.
You think he'll get stoppage, yeah?
Yeah, I think he's going to get the stoppage. I think...
Are you basing that just on size? Or?
No. It's a little bit on size, but I think Crawford's ego is not going to let him box. You got to remember,
so you think he's going to take him on?
Yeah. And I think he'll try. He'll do what he has to do at the start. Realise it's not going to work. Later on, try and match him, and that's it. Game over.
See, I think if Crawford's got to do the job, it's got to be boxing, moving, keeping.
That's the only way it can be done. He can't fight him, can he?
No, he can't fight. And you're saying there he gets drawn in because he just might do because he's unbeaten. He fancies himself as a bit of a tough. Well, he's tough, isn't he? He's tough, strong. He does everything well.
Yeah,
but. At this weight, but Canelo was down at welterweight when he started, up at light heavyweight, and obviously been beat, lost to Mayweather and lost to Dimitri Bivol.
Yeah,
but Bivol was too much for him.
Yeah,
back down at super middleweight now. That's probably his comfortable weight, and you just think Crawford's just not big enough.
Nah, I don't think he is, man. And the thing is, with someone like Canelo, you got to either throw punches in bunches like Bivol did, or you got to be there where he respects your power, like GGG and these guys. So. It sounds a bit mad, but I don't think Crawford's got either or. Yeah. He's talented, one of the best fighters in our generation, but you've got to remember you're going up. Yeah. 2 divisions, 3 divisions.
Yeah, 2 or 3
It's
divisions.
different, the game's different up there.
And Canelo's not going anywhere, is it? Because he got clips. You mentioned Bivol there, and Bivol smashed him with quite a lot of big, heavy shots.
Yeah.
And he coped.
He took it.
Never been down, has
he? He ate it, and it didn't faze him. So I don't see how Crawford can hurt him, to be fair.
The bout showcased the stark contrast between a natural super middleweight and a challenger, daring to prove himself on unfamiliar ground. One possessed the edge of experience at 168 pounds, demonstrating the durability to absorb shots that would overwhelm most, while the other leaned on sharpness, adaptability, and relentless work rate to dictate the pace. Their exchanges produced flashes of power, pinpoint timing, and world-class adjustments from both men, keeping the result hanging in the balance. As the fight entered the late rounds, fatigue and sustained pressure became pivotal, setting the stage for dramatic twists in the championship frame.
Quite difficult to read. Canelo's not as difficult, but Canelo's just so much more experienced. And yes, they're going to look physically the same, but he's the natural 168 pounder. He's the one that's taken shots from guys that probably on a fight night weigh in nearly 200 pounds, and he's been able to eat those shots, eat them, right? I mean, we haven't seen Canelo wobbled since Miguel Cotto's brother wobbled him way back when, right? I mean, apart from that, this guy's taken shots off Gennady Golovkin. And anyone that can eat shots off Golovkin, I'm sorry, you've got my full respect because we know how hard Golovkin hits. What will Crawford's legs look like after a few rounds against Canelo? Like, Crawford's going to have to be active. One thing Crawford's got to understand as well, it's in Vegas. If you want to beat Canelo, you got to beat Canelo. A bit like Bivol did. You've got to make sure there is no arguments. It's all said and done. I did way more work. So Crawford's got to be busy. Canelo, we just know, isn't going to revert back to Canelo of 6-7 years ago. It ain't going to happen. So what Canelo does do is he tries to hurt you with one big shot now. He won't load up. It will tap you, then bang. I think we've seen that, especially that shot he throws where it looks like he's going to go to the body, then it goes up top. He's really good at that shot. So Crawford's got to look out for that. I think Crawford wins quite a few of the early rounds. And then I think the weight of Canelo's punches, the weight in Crawford's legs start to take some impact. And I think Canelo starts to eat a lot of the second half of the fight rounds. And then I think it comes down to who can do something in 11 and 12 championship rounds. I really do believe that's how it's going to play out. I've got a feeling that Canelo will hurt Crawford.
The contest captured the contrast between a natural super, middleweight, and a challenger daring to push beyond his limits. One held the advantage of experience at 168 pounds, showing the toughness to absorb shots that would undo most fighters, while the other leaned on sharpness, adaptability, and relentless pace to keep stride. Their exchanges crackled with bursts of power, razor-sharp timing, and tactical ingenuity. keeping the outcome shrouded in suspense. As the rounds wore on, fatigue and sustained pressure began to take their toll, paving the way for dramatic shifts in the decisive championship frames.
He's around a whole bunch of dope people, right? His whole camp, we all know, is 7 people's been busted there. So how and why is no one asking about if he's been dope tested for this mega fight, right? And that's what I've been watching for. And that's why, you know, my interest is waning, my interest, because I understand that there's people who don't care. You know what I call boxing here, BTBG, beat the black guy. That's what I call boxing. That's what I've been seeing for years, right? Example, who gave a damn when Devin Haney was cheated with Ryan Garcia? Full of dope. All they were doing is celebrating a win, was what they were calling it, with somebody doped.
Are you willing to pick him over Canelo? That fight's going to happen in September at 168.
Well, it's a big difference in weight with Canelo and Terence. But if any fighter has a chance with Canelo, it's Terence. Terence is a super talent, and he has a real chance, despite the weight disparity, to beat Canelo. A real chance.
Who would you favor, though? Or is it just 50-50?
It's very hard because of the difference in weight. I would think that if I had to bet the fight, that I would bet Terence, because Terence has more skills than Canelo. But he's given away a lot of weight, a lot of real weight. So that matters. But again, Terence is a tremendously skilled fighter. So is Canelo a very skilled fighter. But he doesn't have the same skill set as Terence does.